Hurricane Ian and its potential impact on us here in the Midlands. We're going to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Efren Afante.
So we just got we have an update. It's the 6 o'clock update. Hasn't really changed that much on Hurricane Ian when it became a hurricane again at 5 o'clock. Wind sustained right now at 75, now gusting to 90, moving north-northeast at 10 miles an hour. It's about 250 miles straight south of Charleston by the bar, and you can see a lot of heavy rainfall on the northern quadrant. Not as symmetrical as this was before it hit the west coast of Florida, but nevertheless, the trajectory, it's expected from the National Hurricane Center and a lot of the guidance models to stay as a Category 1 hurricane with at least 80-mile-an-hour winds as it makes its way by sometime tomorrow, midday into possibly the late afternoon, with 80-mile-an-hour winds sustained as a Category 1, making landfall anywhere from the south end of Charleston County to the south end of Horry County. It could be Category 1 or it could be a tropical depression, but no matter what, we're still talking about wind sustained at least 70 to 80 miles an hour. And then as it makes its way through the eastern portions of the Palmetto State, it will fall apart quickly to an area of low pressure by Saturday. The models have still been indicating the shift. So when we get the 8 o'clock update, the actual line that National Hurricane Center has may shift over a little bit more, but regardless, we already know that the impact points is going to be involving the Midlands, the PD, and absolutely the Grand Strain and portions of the Low Country. Now, we do have a tropical storm warning in effect for all of our Midland communities through Sunday, and the hurricane warning for the coastline until Sunday afternoon as well. In addition, we do have a flood watch in effect for South Carolina, pretty much everything to the 2/3 eastern portions, and many of our Midland communities through Saturday morning at about 8 a.m. This is what we have going on right now in downtown Columbia. Overcast, 67 degrees. Winds are sustained at 16 miles an hour, but gusting out of the northeast at 26, so the winds already have ramped up. Some of us may see showers later on tonight. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at cloudy skies and windy. We're looking at a temperature starting off at 59, but it's going to be winds gusting at 40 miles an hour. By midday, we're only going to be at 59 degrees, lots of rainfall. Winds could be gusting up to 55, and that's going to continue to the afternoon with those downpours, and flash flooding is possible as we reach a high of 63 degrees. But really the take-home message right now is that Ian is a hurricane, and unfortunately it's heading our way.
Chief, want to talk a moment now about the possible storm surge for the South Carolina coast, especially Charleston. What are you thinking they're going to look at right now? Several feet of storm surge beginning, what, about midday tomorrow?
Yeah, that's the one thing. In fact, give me 1 second. I'm going to show you off the screen the things that we've been watching very carefully. Unfortunately, with the amount of rainfall that's expected to come down is really not the issue for the low country. The issue is going to be the amount of rainfall they're going to be expecting as it moves through. And along with that, the storm surge potential, they have a storm surge warning all the way up and down the entire South Carolina coastline. But in particular, what we're looking at is the amount of storm surge as it moves through. Well, we're looking at in the low country, we could see anywhere from 3 to 6 feet of storm surge moving through. And we get into portions of the low country up to McClellanville, maybe 3 to 5 feet of storm surge, and we get into the Grand Strand anywhere from 2 to 3 feet. But the big thing is this is assuming that we're not going to be dealing with high tide, and these trajectories are not indicating that. So 6 feet, if it makes landfall at 2 o'clock, may be more like 7 to 8 feet.
Efren Afante, we appreciate it, sir. Of course, we'll check back in with you again in just a few minutes. State leaders